I can't wear
yeah, I
like
wouldn't.
bondage pants and a t-shirt, or cut off shirt. I have to wear sleeves basically. Um, but no, the 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 job is great. I'm actually really enjoying it. Like, and I think it's something different. Like I'm running the team, I'm running the projects. I guess I'm the program manager for a couple of things.
Hey,
And
real quick, guys. We're in the Twitch green room. Heads up.
oh, okay. Okay, I won't go into too much detail, but yeah, I'm like the program manager for a couple of things, and um, it's it's a challenge, but in a good way. It's something I've never done.
Yeah.
And it's challenging. The
Keeping you busy, adapting, learning, which is always good. Yeah, and the business thing, like the clothing, doesn't surprise me either, because it's not, dude, like no one dresses up like they did 40 years ago, right? Like it's not.
I got in trouble. So like my first contract with Raytheon was with the Postal Service investigation, like USPI, USPS, and I got in big trouble for wearing blue jeans on a Tuesday because you could only wear blue jeans on a Friday.
Dude, yeah, that's kind
Otherwise, it was slacks. I was like,
khakis
oh my God.
Or something. Yeah.
This job, they don't give a fuck. Like, which is good. Like, I can wear a button up. I can wear jeans. I could probably get away with like a black T-shirt, if I really wanted to.
Dude, there's no way I lounge around the house without wearing my PJs.
I know. Well, Kirby's PJs. After living with Kirby, I realized that yes, he does lounge around the house with his PJs on, but it's a banana hammock and nothing else. So it was a little awkward at first.
It's got the British flag on it though, because I just want everyone to know, I support Britain. Whatever decision.
Oh, Kirby, are you happy to see me? No, you're happy to see me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he put a hammock in the living room, and a couple of fake palm trees, and he'd just sit there in his Union Jack fucking banana hammock all day watching fucking Star Trek or Star Wars.
Let me just say, while writing this episode of Lilith, it was very awkward to walk around in my banana hammock.
Oh, dude!
Around my parents.
Just reading this, I was like, he must have been just jerking it for 3 hours. It comes through. Don't worry.
He was edging it. He would jerk off for a couple of minutes, get right up until he needs to, and then write more, and then finally at the end of the night just explode everywhere.
Listen, guys, Alex, I'm looking at you. Don't make this episode overly sexual, okay? We gotta keep it within the bounds.
You already fuck you fucking dweeb.
Hey, how's my mic coming in? I'm using different headphones.
You sound fine.
Yeah, you sound fine.
Okay, good. All right, good to know.
Let me do a quick mic check on mine and everyone's. Mic check. Mic check.
Yeah. Check, mic check. Checking the mic. Check it.
Mic stick, checking mic stick.
Everyone sounds good to me.
Everyone's good.
Cool.
Hey, Alex, I meant to ask you. Do you play the Yakuza games?
Dude. I'm a little light on money right now, and yesterday I spent 10 minutes on the Steam page just staring at Like a Dragon, basically having one of those moments being like, well, you got some money in your room that you could deposit in the bank, but you should really buy oil for the house, and there's a few other things that need to get paid for, but you're also getting paid next week, so you could maybe just hedge it just a couple days. Oh, but then the mortgage is, you won't get paid again until after the mortgage. Like, oh, dude, it was brutal. I didn't end up getting it, but... yeah, well, no, technically it's a no.
Have you played
because
games?
only Like a Dragon.
Okay, is it batshit insane?
Yes, absolutely.
I just bought it yesterday for like $13. The Like
I'm
a
looking at-
Dragon one.
Yeah,
I'm looking at
Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's the
I'm look-
only I have not played like the beat 'em up, like the regular versions of them. I only did the like JRPG, like
Okay.
turn based. Is
Oh,
the
so-
only one that I've played.
Wait, so they're these I've never heard of these. I'm looking at it on Steam. So these are like a JRPG turn-based like Final Fantasy type thing?
Well, no. So Yakuza, like, except for these two that came out, Yakuza Like a Dragon and Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. If we're talking about any other Yakuza game, they're like action brawlers.
Oh, okay.
So you like go around and you like beat people up. And then when they came out, I think Yakuza's the 7th or 8th like mainline one, like Yakuza Like a Dragon is like the
Yeah.
7th or 8th mainline one. They like flipped the formula. So they like did a new protagonist and they
Got
did
it.
turn based, but they're the only two that do turn based. Every other Yakuza is like an action brawler, right? I
I've
don't know
never
how it's
compared
good.
to Dragon Quest, but the videos I've seen of it, Max, look like it's just complete fucking insanity throughout the
Oh,
entire
it's absolutely insane. And what's really cool, Max, is in the first one, the way that they did it. So Ichiban is like the new protagonist, and he's kind of
Yeah.
like a lovable loser type of protagonist.
I like it.
But the way that they did the turn base, for some reason, this always stuck with me. So he's got this like grandiose idea of like being a hero, and so when they go into turn-based mode, it's basically his imagination of the fight. And so like when you go into fights, they like turn into their like their class job uniforms, and the enemies like will change outfits to make it more like fantastical, but it's set up to be like his imagination of like how the fight is going.
Yeah, you
That's
fight
cool.
shit from like people in a fucking sleeping bag to people dressed as a beach ball.
Wow.
And
Dude,
then-
all of these games have incredibly good reviews on Steam.
Every single one of them, yeah. They're well-known games, yeah.
Wow.
So I might have to try
I
it.
might get this. I might get Like a Dragon just because of what you just described in as the battle, because that sounds like fun.
Well, turn-based, I love turn-based games.
Yeah, same here, which is
Yeah.
why I played Like a Dragon. Also, it was on Game Pass, but
Yeah.
it also it's pretty basic turn-based. Like there's nothing
okay.
that's like super but I'm just saying like there's nothing like super challenging about it in particular, but I love turn-based games. Like I'm fucking
Yeah.
it's my jam.
It also apparently has like a shit ton of mini games. Like you can go to an arcade and play old Sega games. You can
What?
karaoke. You can like deliver pizza, and it's all like done in this way over the top style.
Dude, I'm watching the video and it looks like some of his moves are straight up. Oh my god, the battle looks this looks amazing.
Yeah, it's
He's doing, like,
ridiculous.
He's doing like fucking breakdancing moves and shit on people. And
At one
like,
point, there's a mini boss because you're doing a side quest for some like dude that's doing a company, and then there's like a mini boss of a giant like iRobot, the vacuums. It's just a
Yeah.
giant like floor vacuum that you have to fight.
dude,
I was
he just
watching-
smacked a guy with a piece of cake or a whole cake.
I was watching a video of Infinite Wealth, and he has to go in and take a test on like the history of Sega, and like you have to answer questions from Sega's past, and the dude like failed, and so it's like you failed, and it shows him like holding up the test all triumphant while everyone just kind of sadly looks at him and walks away. I'm like, this is exactly the type of game I want to play.
Actually, the description is fucking awesome too. Become Ichiban Kasuga, a low-ranking Yakuza grunt left on the brink of death. Like, I love a game that starts out with you being a fucking loser.
Yeah, and I will say like the story is really good.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna
Like
wait till this goes on sale because right now it's $60 if you get and if you get the good edition, which I probably will, it's $90. So I'll
well,
wait until
are you looking at the second one?
I'm looking at Like a Dragon.
Oh, you are. So, well, is it
Yeah,
Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth or is it Yakuza Like a Dragon?
it's Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Man, it's
We're
$60 on Steam right now. Damn.
we're
Yeah,
talking about
it's
Yakuza games. Like a Dragon is on sale on Xbox for like $14.
no
So
shit. Okay.
I just bought it like yesterday alongside Near Automata because everyone keeps talking about how great that game is too. So
Okay.
now they're on my list of shit to play right next to all the other shit I have to play, and I'm still playing Tomb Raider.
I'll I'll just wait. So Steam will sometimes have just these crazy sales where AAA games you can get for like I just got the Halo Master Chief Collection for $13. So
That,
I'll wait till this goes on sale.
that's a good deal.
Yeah, the whole thing, like the deluxe edition, $13.
Yeah,
So
I'm almost done with Mass Effect 2 for the fifth time.
For the fifth time.
Alex
Yeah.
doesn't play any other games.
We
Guys,
don't allow him to.
That's
welcome to
not
Crook.
true. I've been playing Helldivers too.
You're playing
So you're in
Helldivers too?
trouble.
Fucking
Yeah,
goddamn it.
because after I struggled so hard to not buy a $70 game, I had two friends be like, "You should get Helldivers too," and I was like, "Well, it's only 40."
God damn it. You're like all of Reddit in one person right now.
That's good. That's fucking good.
It's the exact same game. I feel like fucking Magatu when I argue with these guys. I'm like, it's the same fucking game. You
Oh my
just
god,
spent
you. Oh my
$30
god.
less. Isn't Near
That's a good
Automata
reference.
on Game
Helldivers
Pass?
2 is not the same game as
It's just, the combat is the same. It just
as
lacks
what?
as Suicide Squad. It's a looter
Uh,
shooter with good combat. Am I not right?
well, it's not even a no. It's not a looter shooter.
It is because you have to
Hey,
get
look.
gear to upgrade your character because they don't have character levels in it. Right?
Yeah, but I
That
don't.
makes it a
I,
looter shooter.
well, I don't know if that's considered a looter shooter. You're not looting.
Well, okay. So wait, Diver. Are you saying that this Helldiver game is a looter shooter?
He's saying it's a looter shooter.
Okay.
I
Well, how
would.
else are you getting gear? You're shooting shit
I
and getting loot,
Yeah, no. You're getting experience, which then you spend on unlocking the next gun.
which makes it a looter shooter.
No, a
That
looter
sounds like
shooter.
wait.
A looter
No,
shooter is
no.
like you're killing enemies and you're picking up
Yeah,
loot, which happens to be equipment. I feel like that's an important distinction to be
yeah.
made here.
I wouldn't.
What?
Then what would you classify it as?
It sounds like
Uh,
Metroid.
A shooter buyer?
uh, like a
Yeah,
third, like a third. I would just call it a third-person shooter. I don't
yeah.
a third-person PVE shooter. I don't.
Okay, I might get Suicide Squad because I'm watching the preview right now, and it looks kind of fun.
Okay, so I'll just do a quick take on Suicide Squad before I talk about it on
Wait.
St.
I
Alan.
am the most unbiased person
The
here
fuck
when
you
it
are.
comes to Suicide Squad.
You
So,
haven't
what
even
I
played it. What
haven't even
exactly?
played it, which is why it's important for me to do this.
Hold on,
So,
guys. Let me give
so,
you an opinion of a game I've never played.
so, Max, what I have heard, and I
Uh-huh.
know by other people's experiences, is that
Uh-huh.
the combat's really good.
Uh-huh.
The looter shooter aspect of it needs a little bit of work because
Oh.
apparently, like, you can pretty much play the whole game with your starting weapons and just upgrading those. But the combat's
Oh.
really good, really fluid, smooth, fun, engaging. Not enough enemy variation.
Oh.
And then apparently the story's real shit.
No.
And
Okay.
I
No.
feel like that's all you really need to know.
Okay.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
He's right on most accounts. The story isn't shit. The
I don't
story is
know.
actually
pretty much everybody universally has said the story
Oh,
is
you
shit.
mean every single fucking YouTuber told you the story shit? Yeah. If every one of them jumped off a bridge, look,
Well, I
Suicide
mean,
Squad got lambasted when it was revealed. Media rode the dick hard on Suicide Squad. YouTubers started talking shit about Suicide Squad before it even released. It became popular to hate the game. I have played.
look, I'm not saying I don't think a lot of people actually like truly hate the game, dude.
Dude,
So I don't know what you've been reading, but like I feel like a lot of the reviews that are out are actually pretty fair and like
here.
It's got a it's
like
Okay,
got a
hold on,
decent
hold on, hold
rating.
on. No. We let the guy who never played the game give his take on the game based off what YouTubers said. Allow the person that actually played the game to tell you
no,
what he
because we
thinks.
can't. No, that just makes too much sense. We can't do that. This is not a platform for things like that.
He's technically right, Crook. He's technically right.
What? How? Right about what?
Right
Yeah.
about
See,
right about
Lord of Doorframes knows what I'm talking about. We got to
yeah.
liberate the universe,
Yes,
which is
yes.
why I got Helldivers 2. It's all about freedom
Listen,
and
I'm
liberating.
not saying Helldivers 2
Spreading
is a bad
democracy,
game. Look,
baby.
you could cope with buying Helldivers 2 all you want.
Suicide Squad is about killing the same villain fucking 300 times.
Suicide Squad, you actually fight the fucking Justice League, and they do have different variations of the Justice League fights. Now, here's the thing. He's right. There's not enough content. He's also wrong in that the story is shit, but that's because the story isn't done. When
Oh,
when you kill the Justice League and you go and take on Brainiac, you bring Brainiac back to your fucking realm.
Oh, spoilers, by the way, everybody.
Yeah. You find out that there's like 12 to 13 other Brainiacs. He looks at Lex 2 and goes, "You," and then like dies. So
hmm.
there's a lot more at play here than what is initially revealed. The problem is it's a games as service, so we're not going to get the full story until it's been out for a year. But
Well,
I
so
highly doubt A, the Justice League's dead. B, I bet they're all, and this is probably the part they're skimming over and the story's shit. But with Brainiac's corruption, the Justice League is vastly weakened, and that's why people like Batman are able to be taken down. Furthermore, it's very, very, very probable that they're all just clones.
well, okay. I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
This is the storyline of a comic that DC did. So I'm not gonna like this whole
Yeah,
Brainiac
well,
thing. Forget it.
and it's Rocksteady, so it probably is like I mean, because weren't
Yeah.
wasn't Arkham Asylum a comic book when they
Yeah. Oh yeah.
adapted into a video game?
It's
So like so I'm like not surprised by that. But the reason that I won't give them money is because I am pretty much done with games as a service. Like
yes.
I am through and through like just
Ditto.
I'm the gaming industry needs to fucking get past that shit. Like,
The
give
last
me a whole complete game when I fucking buy it.
the
Yeah.
last one that was good was what was it? King's Quest from Sierra Online, in which it was episodic. They released each episode. But that's old, very old. And Sierra Online no longer exists, but Sierra Online made some of the best games ever. Leisure Suit Larry, Space Quest, Heroes Quest.
I feel like Suicide Squad should have came out a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't get
That
as
I
much
agree.
hate
That I agree with. Yeah,
as
Yeah.
it is
100%.
now. Because it's right
So
at the end of like the games of service wave that's going through the industry.
yeah. So my favorite review on Steam so far, so I'm just skimming through them, is it's recommended. This is a recommended review. It says recommended. King Shark is a shark.
Now, it is a lot of fun. The combat is a lot of fun. Lord of Old Door Frames is right. The Batman fight's a little disappointing, but I honestly still don't think we fought Batman. I think they're clones because
Uh,
there's no way that you
I,
can kill the Justice League that easily.
I'm gonna give it away. They are clones if they're going by
Yeah.
the comic book.
Yeah, and they're probably, I think the end, like, the end of the year, we're going to be actually having saved the entire Justice League.
Like,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. Like, I'm more than willing to buy it. Like in a year when all the
Yeah, me
content
too.
is out.
Me
too.
Like I, that I'm willing to do, but I'm just not willing to do it now while waiting for more content. Because
Agreed.
It is kind of shitty that it's episodic. And
'cause
it
I
does
am-
feel like I beat it in a week and haven't touched it since because of that, because I'm waiting for the first fucking season. Because otherwise, what's the point? You know?
Yeah, exactly. And, but one of the things which I think is probably a fair critique of the game that I saw is that the mission variety, there's like four missions essentially.
Mhm.
That is a fair critique. That
Oh.
and instead of the story being shit, I will meet you halfway and say the story is unfinished, and it should have
Okay.
Yeah,
been
fair enough. Yeah,
more
fair enough.
So-
elaborated on.
I just typed in King's Quest into Steam, and for some reason I fat fingered it, and I typed Jugs Quest, and I don't know why.
That's the game I want. Okay, speaking of jugs,
Yes, thank you.
today
Let's get into this.
we're not talking about
We should
Suicide Squad
also
or games.
do the intro.
But
Yeah,
today
let's do
we
it.
are talking about Lilith. Welcome to Crook and Murder. I'm Kenny Crook Irish Kirby. You may know me as the guy that's vehemently defending Suicide Squad's honor, even though it's a shitty hill to die on, and I'd much rather be defending something like Tears of the Kingdom. I am joined today by my co-host Maxwell Murder.
I am Maxwell Murder, and I have yet to play Suicide Squad, but I think instead I'm going to buy Yakuza Dragon thing.
I actually think you'd have a lot more fun with Yakuza. At this moment, Suicide Squad will probably be a lot better in a year.
Yeah.
And of course, special guest Alex.
I am special guest Alex giving Suicide Squad shit for being a games as a service, and am currently playing Helldivers 2, also a games as a service.
If you guys must know, I just like defending the underdog and playing the devil's advocate. I haven't really touched Suicide Squad in like a week because I've been playing Tomb Raider.
I also want to say that in spirit we have George Takai joining us.
Oh fuck yeah!
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
where did you get that?
Alex
Kirby and I got
met him,
it.
Holmes.
Awesome. Yeah. Kirby and I went to AwesomeCon. I also I don't, this isn't up, but this is
What
Adam
I
Savage.
would like to say also, because I think this happened after our last episode, is our hearts go out to Carl Weathers' family.
Yes, absolutely.
He was a great man. Rest in peace.
And he you know what? When Kirby got him to sign a picture to Tobias, he went with the joke.
He was very nice about it.
He was
wrote,
very nice, very sweet
Much
man.
love to Tobias, Carl Weathers.
Yeah.
That's
And
fucking dope as
we
shit.
made here's my favorite thing about these pictures. I love these pictures because they have such good memories. Like Kirby and I had such a good time at AwesomeCon. We made George Takai blush. Like and we I think he was really touched when he said like, "Oh, I wish I looked like that." And we said, "You still look like that, George."
And then you should have handed him some strawberries.
I think I handed him some blueberries, and then he crushed them in my hand and made blueberry jelly. But then also,
it's just that's a joke from Psych.
no, I know this is
okay.
this is Adam Savage. I don't know if you remember him from.
I know. I know. Yeah.
So he wrote this to Kirby and Max. Stay obsessed. We talked to him so long that the security had to move us along because the line was starting to build up.
Yeah, him and Max like nerded the fuck out.
Oh,
because
fuck yeah.
Max showed him like the mathematical equation he has on his arm, and it just went fucking full nerd after that.
I said to him, you know, your show and your attitude turned me into an engineer. And then I said, I have Maxwell's equations tattooed on my arm. And then it from there, we just fucking nerded the fuck out.
And
all right,
I would show you the picture that I have of Christina
Christina
Ricci
Ricci.
hanging on my wall right next to my photo of Lilith. So go ahead and take it away, Alex.
Out of
Yes.
curiosity, is your sock rack right next to that too?
No, it's underneath my giant uh whatever this fucking thing is behind me. Anyway,
That no one can see anyways.
No, what the
Anyways, so today we are talking about Lilith. Before time existed, the world was a battleground for deities. However, the angels in Anus, I'm sorry, I don't know how to say his name. It's gonna be
Anarius.
Ananus. Anarius.
Anarius.
I like Ananus better.
That
In
is true.
Anus and the demon Lilith grew tired of the eternal struggle between divine beings. So they created an area of their own, one free from the burdens of gods. Their children spread far and wide and populated the mystical place called Sanctuary. Now, if this sounds familiar, it shouldn't. Now, Ananus wishes to restore order, while Lilith seeks increasing power. Caught in the middle, the Denzians of Sanctuary must rise up, take back the lands, and conquer the forces of heaven and hell itself!
I will die
I re-
upon the fucking hill of Diablo 4 if anybody wants to challenge that. Okay.
Oh, that's wait a minute. That's from Diablo 4? I thought that was the Bible. I thought that was the Old Testament.
Well,
Am I wrong?
look, okay, the story of Lilith, Blizzard took some liberties with Lilith. Okay, just a few, but it's more or less the same story.
Yeah, they took some liberties.
So I actually found a lot of this interesting. I didn't know a lot of this, to be honest with you.
The story of Lilith is one of my favorites. It's my second favorite folkloric story. My first is the Golem, but Lilith is the first bad bitch who ever lived.
She is the first girl boss.
Oh fuck yeah, and in a good way.
Yeah.
All right. So the first Eve, chapter 1.
Chapter 1.
This is great.
Many people know prelogue. Many people know the story.
That's
Prologue. Fuck. Many people know the story of Adam and Eve. I think everyone pretty much does. Boy meets girl, they fall in love, get married, then girl dooms humanity by getting a liberal arts degree, aka eating an apple. However, like most tragic love stories, the pairing of Adam and Eve was not that simple. Enter Lilith, the world's first feminist. So before, which this I never knew, right? Because I'm Catholic, so we're just taught fucking Adam and Eve, right?
Yeah.
Well, was raised Catholic. Let me put it that way. I'm not Catholic.
So the King James Bible doesn't include this. Most of the Bible translations, like Christian Bible translations, don't include this, and I don't know why, because it sort of sets, in my opinion, it sets the stage for every Abrahamic religion to oppress women.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Honestly, it does. And when they cut that out of the Bible, like I always hope you were going like with that strain, because it just seems like more of a way to control the population by being like
absolutely.
Women who think for themselves are bad. And it's kind of weird that they kept Lilith out, because Lilith is, for all intents and purposes, painted to be like the worst version of Eve.
Yeah, but they probably just didn't even want to give them the idea that it was even possible.
Yeah.
Right?
I think that's more likely.
Eve is like caused evil and is dismissive like right from the get-go. Whereas like Lilith does have like independence, power.
She has agency.
Yeah, that's a perfect way of putting it. So before we kind of get ahead of ourselves, before Eve was even a concept, Adam was created to assist God. With his dorky little glasses and fucking bow tie, fucking Tucker Carlson style. And one day God asked Adam to name the animals. Gave him a little notebook and was like, "Here, man, just sit at your desk and just name all the fucking animals." And while Adam was going through the various pairs, he became jealous of their companionship, one male, one female for each of them. So to rectify this, Adam
I
fucked
love
all the
this.
female animals, which I had to ask:
Yes.
is that true? Is that like,
Okay,
or
look,
was it
I don't
Ken
just
just
write
being Ken?
Alex. I don't
I
just
haven't.
write bestiality just to write bestiality. Yes, Adam
Sometimes you
fucked
do,
all.
though.
No,
Sometimes
look,
you try to
I
make a
tried to.
joke, so I didn't know if it was a joke or
I
not.
stick with the facts for the most part.
I've never heard of this part, but I do want it to be true because Adam's kind of a douche.
Adam fucked all the female animals to try to get that like relationship thing going. But the problem is none of the female animals could provide what he wanted. You know, I
Because they're
mean,
animals.
Oh, yeah,
they're
because they're
fucking
fucking
animals.
animals. I
Yeah,
don't know.
just
I don't look. I don't want to. I don't want to yuck some people's yums, right? You know,
well,
you got to
no, it's
No,
You
I
got to
think we
it's
can
wrong.
definitely
It's
yuck that
wrong.
yum.
Hey
Yeah.
man, you got a consensual animal that's willing. You know,
Consensual? How would you even tell that Bessie the cow wants to get banged by Baba the fucking farmer?
I don't know.
Well,
I don't love cows, so I don't know their love language.
I'm sorry, but all I can think about now is Tucker Carlson fucking a sloth.
Well, hold on. It gets better. I don't
Not
know
the
if you read
sloth.
some of my. I don't know if you read all of my notes in this outline, but I make another comparison that I think is very apt. But
Okay, okay.
all right. So when Adam realized that cows, sheep, dolphins, etc., weren't going to play video games with him, he called up God and he was like, "Yo, my dude, I want some strange. I want to go clubbing and I want to get my D wet."
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
and so, God nodded understandably and was like, "Yeah, we all want to get our D wet." And he took some dust and he took some, and for some fucking reason, mixed in a little bit of filth dirt in there.
Well,
And thus he created Lilith.
okay.
This
I'm gonna
sounds
say
hot
that.
so far.
I'm
Like,
gonna say this just real quick at the top. Okay. Uh, Adam, the name Adam, comes from the Hebrew word Adam, which means earth. So God made Adam out of dirt.
Yeah, okay.
I kind of
Um,
feel like God's making the perfect woman here because I've always been on the side of fucking what's that? The dude from Breaking Bad, the lawyer,
Saul.
Oh,
Saul Goodman.
Saul.
Yeah, where he's just like fucking Walter likes his woman likes his or lawyers, good with a little bit of filth. You know, it's
Oh,
like
yeah, yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
is this sounds like a
Yeah.
fucking great woman. I feel like
No,
I'd have good fights with her. Good
he's actually
arguments.
making. Yeah, actually, the way you put it there, like with the filth and the dirt, he's actually making like he's making. I don't want to say the perfect woman because that's kind of weird, but he's making the woman that Adam should fall in love with. You know?
Yeah, they both come from Earth, right?
One that's
Come
going to
Yeah.
from.
challenge him.
Yes,
And
and one that is also going to want to get nasty a couple of days a week. You know?
All right. So Lilith was the most magnificent creature God had ever created, and the most beautiful Adam had ever seen. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Hotter than the sloth.
However, the filth sparked a fire in Lilith's heart, and she immediately started quarreling with Adam. And Adam was not going to play video games with this chick.
yeah, she basically came out and she was like, "You never do the fucking dishes. All you do is ride around on your goddamn carpet with King Solomon." And it's like, you just watch fucking John Wick the Baptist all day. When do I get to watch fucking Waiting for the Kardashians? Like, she immediately started fighting Adam.
I mean, okay. Let's put it in terms of like, okay, so the filth thing I haven't heard, but like the folklore sort of biblical Torah kind of thing is basically she was made out of the same shit that Adam was, and that gave her too much like
Equality.
she wanted, yeah, exactly. This is again why I think this story, it starts off the Bible with they get Lilith is written out for reasons that I think are we can all understand, or that we can all see in Abrahamic religions, and instead Eve is made out of Adam's rib, so she's subservient to Adam,
Yep.
kind of like a golem.
Yeah,
So
maybe that's why they took Lilith out, because then
I think so.
women back then
Yeah.
could be like, maybe I'm a fucking descendant of Lilith. You know?
Yeah, they didn't. They don't want people identifying with Lilith. They want people identifying with the
Eve.
subservient Eve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Adam just wanted to lay down some pipe. However, Lilith was not going to lie beneath him like a sea slug.
No.
She considered herself an equal, just like we said, and because she was made from the same ingredients. So she suggested he drill her sideways. So again, a lot of this, I think, is a liberty with Ken and his interpretation, but and Adam was not cool with this, so he tried to, force it upon her, and that didn't go so well because, of course, it comes down to a douchebag fraternity kid raping someone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Little bit, Adam. Maybe we should call him Brock.
Yeah. I think Adam's a bit of a date rapist, and do not call him Brock because Brock Sampson would never date rape anyone.
I totally was. The reference is totally Brock Turner, but okay.
Okay. I'm just saying.
I would suggest Derek, but Derek the demon is too fucking cool in my heart at this part.
I agree. And also, he's subservient to Lilith technically. So
Brock from Pokemon.
Yeah, I just saw that too. No, it's definitely supposed to be a reference to Brock Turner, the infamous swimmer. All right, so obviously this didn't go so well, and Lilith flew into a rage and invoked the name of Jehovah, which was forbidden, and she sprinted out of sight and out of the garden.
She basically maced him.
Which is start up a small business.
Which is perfect. You go, girl. So far, I'm on Lilith's side here. She's basically we
all should be.
We're made from the same fucking ingredients. Why do you get to be greater than me? And and Adam's just like, bro, because I'm a dude. And then he tries to force himself on her. This actually very, very, very paints Adam in a very bad light.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I don't know. It's
Yeah, I don't know. It's just more realistic for the actual history of the human species. So but so Adam was pretty pissed about this, so he whined to God like the good little bitch he is. And God tired of all this bullshit, called up 3 of his angels. You guys are going to have to help me with pronunciations. Is it just Sonoy?
Sonoy, Sansonoy, and some
Sansonoy and some angel?
It really...
Some angel?
They're like...
It's like Simangle.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Yeah,
they're like
Simangle.
Sonoy, Sansonoy, and some angel.
Samoyas? The delicious cookies.
Those are
slightly racist, but delicious cookies.
Yeah, very good.
All right, so the angels were set out to basically bring Lilith back, and they eventually found her. But they weren't exactly, too happy about what they discovered. Lilith was getting... I can't believe you're making me read this. Lilith was getting spit roasted by hundreds of demons in the Red Sea. Furthermore, she was giving birth to hundreds of new demons every day. Now, what I would like to ask here is, I will not say that word again. For some reason, I feel real dirty saying it.
Okay, first of all...
But was she getting railed by hundreds of demons willingly? Like, this was...
Yes.
Willingly.
So, okay, all right. I just want to make sure.
Guys, you can't just say, this is bad. This is Lilith's idea. She went,
okay.
Fine.
Well, it's not written in there.
Fuck you, Adam.
I don't think it was a gangbang. I'm sorry.
I'm pretty sure. Look, the angels came across.
Obviously, it was a train.
Specifically said the angels came across her, banging hundreds of demons in the Red Sea. We can paint it however we like, but I want to paint a picture for you that is less like, oh, she's on Pornhub, and more about this is her rejecting God. This is her saying, okay, if you're not going to count me as your equal, Adam, fuck you. I'm going to go fuck all your friends and empower myself, become better than you.
Okay.
You know?
So
But,
so all of these demons that she was given birth to were called Lilims.
Yeah.
From Lilim,
yep,
after
yep.
their mother, obviously, and the angels flew down to talk to Lilith, and I
So
get
wait, why we have this break? I just want to say something. There's a different story also. So this is folklore. So there's always different interpretations. The other interpretation is not that she fucked every single demon. It's that her and Lucifer gave birth to all the demons.
That
So
is
she was
that
monogamous
is
in that.
one option, but I rather like the fact that it's just like, you know, if you want to force monogamy upon me and me being subservient to you as like a man, I'm going to do the exact opposite of that.
There's a bit of a okay. So I see what you're saying, and I know that this is one story, but if you go by the Lucifer story, she would be fucking all of her children because she's the first demon.
Except she's no, well, she's not the first demon. The
Well,
Red
Lucifer
Sea
wasn't a
the
demon.
Red
He's a
Sea was filled with demons. In fact, you will find out later on in uh the outline that there's a chance that she could have been Lucifer herself.
that is. I've heard that too. I'm just saying that like the kind of given story that I have understood from say like the Kabbalah um, is that, and they don't call him Lucifer. I think that's a different word for morning star. And he's not in the Hebrew Bible. It's not Satan. There's no real kind of Satan like that. But in the mystical sort of version of the Old Testament, it's she is cast either outside of Eden or down to hell, most likely outside of Eden, and her Lucifer finds her, and they give birth to all the demons.
But at that point, you're basically saying she did not choose to leave Eden and did not give herself
Yeah,
empowerment to leave the garden. I actually prefer
this
the
is
one
written by the guys who like Adam, so I shouldn't, you know.
I
all right.
I prefer the story where she chose to empower herself and say and reject the entirety of uh
Monogamy.
So
monog
as we continue with the Pornhub story, because that's the one
which
we're
Yes,
going
absolutely.
with.
by the way, real quick, is not demeaning to women in any way. There is a movement nowadays where women have far more boyfriends than men have girlfriends.
I
It's
mean,
like
why not?
monogamy is getting thrown out the window, and
Or, or
it's
maybe
not
you just
in a
want to
demeaning
date
way.
around. I don't know.
Yeah, but do you see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. I understand this. She doesn't have to. You're saying that after Adam being a fucking total like
Wanker.
psychopathic gaslighter,
Yeah,
she decides like I don't need to be tied down. I'm gonna go on what you call it,
Tinder.
I don't know, dating Tinder, and I'm gonna date around. I'm gonna meet some demons in the Red Sea, and it's okay to have sex. Sex is good.
All right.
That's
So the three angels came down, and they were basically like, Lilith, what the fuck is going on here? You got to come back. You got to come back to the garden, little lady.
After
And
after we watch this for a second,
yeah, yeah, for real, right?
yeah,
One of them was like, "Yeah, should we stop this?" And another one was like, hold on. Let's
no,
just.
let her finish.
But so when they basically told her that she had to get back, she was like, "Go fuck yourself." I'm
Yep.
not going to be Adam's handmaiden. Just fucking, at every whim of his. So the angels gave Lilith an ultimatum. They basically were like, "You got to return now, or we're gonna drown you in the sea." Lilith
Yikes.
was clever, though, and she reminded the angels that God gave her dominion over the lives of children up to a certain age. Boys, 8 days old, girls, 20 days old. And then for some reason, I started all day after I read this, was thinking about, can you imagine if we just left 8-day-year-olds and 20-day-year-olds or 20-day-old babies, just like if that was how the human race, like we didn't raise them up until like
Yeah,
16, 17, 18. It's just like, oh, you're 8 days, and just put them out into the world.
it's like a
uh,
deer. It comes out and it can walk.
yeah, there you go.
I think
um
it's more what's that? It's more irresponsible of God to just give anybody
Yeah,
that kind of power. Like
Also,
it's
we
like
don't know that she's not raising them. She just has dominion over them.
Well, God's just one of us. He makes mistakes too.
yeah, but like right out of the like creation, she's like, oh, by the way, you're in charge of old children up to age 8 and like
Yeah.
20.
This
That's
is her
Um,
way of getting back at him for making her a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah, basically. But so
Yeah.
anyway, so she basically was like, if you're gonna attack me or force me to go back, that she was just gonna start snuffing out the lives of children one by one. Which I mean, that's a pretty big fucking card in your back pocket there.
It is. It
Um,
is. It's the Old Testament. So just go with it.
and so the angels were pleading with her, asking her to return. And Lilith, can be compassionate.
Absolutely.
Pitied the angels and said she wouldn't return, but offered up, kind of a middle solution. That she would not kill any infants bearing the crest or name of the three angels on their chest. And the angels, being egotistical fucking bastards that they are, most likely, were like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, all right, yeah, you don't need to come back as long as these babies have our names. Hell yeah." Um,
Absolutely.
and let's just say, God was quite pissed, and he went down to confront Lilith himself,
He
and he
was
offered
unhappy.
unhappy, and he
Yeah.
offered his own ultimatum that she either return with him now, or he would kill 100 of her own offspring every day in front of her. Which, oh, boy,
Asshole.
howdy. And Lilith became extremely bitter towards God over this. But she still refused the offer. And now every day, between the rising and setting of the sun, Lilith has to watch God kill 100 of her children. And thus the succubi Lilith was born.
Now, I'd like to say I'm glad that we're getting different variations of the story over here because there are
Yeah.
different variations of.
There's a lot. So like, there's a couple of things that I like here. So the angels. So the name of the angels on the chest, the crest of the angels on the chest of the baby, is is very like that type of like inscription or naming is important within the Kabbalah. Like the golem, for example, has is basically imprinted with three Hebrew characters, which I cannot remember off the top of my head. But those make the golem alive, and if you erase one, the golem dies. So, and there's a lot of other examples of these. Like it's usually in sets of three, like three Hebrew characters. But also, yeah, there's a ton of different stories about Lilith, and some of them are very Christianized. Some of them are like basically stick to either the Hebrew version or the Samaric version. Um, I like Kirby's interpretation here quite a bit, actually. The more I think about it, the more I'm liking it, because like you get out of a relationship where you're with a fucking. I think Adam had like BPD or something, or maybe some like malignant narcissism. He could be. Now that I'm picturing Adam, he looks a little like Ted Bundy.
Ooh,
Um,
yeah.
yeah. So she gets out of that relationship and she doesn't want another relationship. She wants to date around. And again, there's nothing wrong with men or women or anything in between getting a little strange. Just
I've
wear
actually,
protection.
I've known a couple like girls that were swingers in my lifetime. It's like,
Oh, I know it's pretty common out here. Actually, I know a few, and I don't like that lifestyle. That's not for me. But
yeah,
you know, go for it. Who
Yeah.
am I to say no?
I think it's to me at least like it feels like if she just ran into the arms of Lucifer, she'd be leaving one abusive relationship for another abusive
Or another one.
relationship.
Well, that
You
is
know,
that is how that story ends, unfortunately.
but with this, at least it feels more like, you know what? I'm gonna do my own thing, and
Yeah,
fuck paradise.
yeah,
Literally, I'm
and
gonna be down here fucking.
and you
So
know what?
fuck all that
She
shit.
got out. She got out when the getting was good.
She,
Whereas when Adam and Eve got out, they were fucked.
yeah, actually, the fact that she left before Adam and Eve fucked everything up, uh,
Yeah,
made her immortal.
Well,
Absolutely.
speaking of her getting out for Adam and Eve, let's start going over the attacks attributed to Lilith, chapter
Absolutely.
2.
I love
Um,
these.
so the fall of this, I really like. This is I'm gonna tell everybody this from now on. Like when I tell this story. So we all know, at least in Catholicism, right? It's Lucifer, the Satan is the snake that tells
Yeah.
Eve to tempts Eve into biting the apple. Um, some ancient texts actually have Lilith tempting Adam and Eve into biting the apple as retribution
Yeah.
for her abandonment, which
Yeah.
I fucking love.
Yeah.
Which this also, which is what Ken brought up, begs the question if Satan and Lilith are interchangeable. Since she left the garden of her own accord, she's not subjected to the release of death, which is what Ken said. And many cultures around the world perceive her as a demoness or a dark goddess because of this.
So
Yes.
let me ask you a question, Max.
Yep.
The Hebrew version of Satan isn't like some trident wielding devil with
Yeah.
horns. It's a
Yeah.
concept, right?
It's a concept, and well, okay. So the name Satan comes from I can't remember. I think it's a Hebrew. It's an ancient Hebrew word or Sumerian word or a word that was used, but in Hebrew it's shatan, and it just means adversary. It doesn't mean he's not. And Jews, we don't. How do I put this? This is something I really like about my religion, and I've said this before. Like, I'm not like super religious, but I have some faith, and I'm sort of a practicing traditional Jew. But something I like about Judaism over, say, Christianity or Islam is that like hell isn't really a it's a very abstract concept, and we don't the idea of living a life of a devout Jewish life or even a semi-devout Jewish life is to do good deeds in your lifetime, not because you're going to go to heaven or hell, but because that's just what we do. We don't do it to get into heaven. Like, so there's this is an example that I like a lot. So there are things called mitzvahs that are in the Talmud, that are like they're kind of rules, and some of them are rules, some of them are other things. But one mitzvah is you're supposed to do in your life at least one completely altruistic deed that does not benefit you in any way. So an example of what some very not even devout Jews, but some Jews in their lifetime will give a kidney anonymously. They will
Oh,
and that's not to get into heaven again. That is just because like we don't believe that like there isn't like a fucking Saint Peter or anything. It's just Jews the at least the Jewish religion, I should say, is more about what we do in this realm in our lifetime and less about doing things to please God and get into heaven.
Oh, so Jews are like Satanists.
I
no.
mean, a little bit. It's just more like it's a better concept in my mind. Like you don't like you don't give huge donations to the synagogue. You kind of have a subscription, but you don't just like you don't like
And I will
tithe.
say, just real quick before there's any hate mail, when I say Satanists, I mean the ones from
Yes.
Massachusetts that are
Yes.
activists. So
You mean you mean you mean Levian Satanists?
let's everybody just calm down
Yeah.
for a
Yeah.
second.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Alex,
No, the
you
good
wanna
Satanists.
you wanna go say goodbye to Simon? Max and I can hold a conversation about religion. Done.
Oh
Is
yeah,
he
do you guys
there?
mind?
Yeah,
Yeah,
go
he
Okay.
ahead.
just showed up.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll talk about this. Okay.
So
So
my question is this: uh, if and I don't mean this in any demeaning way.
no, no, no. Yeah.
When I came across this was something specifically that I was going to ask you. If Satan is a concept, could Lilith fall into the umbrella of Satan?
Absolutely. And actually, so um, within Jewish mysticism, within the Kabbalah, Lilith is way more of like a kind of a villain, but also like I'd say protagonist. But there are like within the Kabbalah, like any curses or like when we talk about Solomon and stuff, like Lilith is like the main like the main vessel of curses, the main vessel of a lot of like the darker side of magic, rather than Satan.
So, oh wait. So Lord of Old Doorframe says it appeared in the King James version of the Bible in Isaiah, before in the Vulgate, the late 4th century Latin translation of the Bible, not as the name of a devil, but as the Latin word Lucifer, uncapitalized, meaning the morning star, the
Morning
planet
Star. Yeah.
Venus, or as an adjective, light bringing. What does that mean?
Yes. So okay, so I shouldn't say Satan. Lucifer. We have to. There's a especially with the old versions of the Bible, the Hebrew Bible. There isn't a ton of mention of Lucifer or like angels too much, but like um, we always have to remember that Lucifer was an angel, and apparently God's like favorite angel, and yeah, he was we usually translate Lucifer from the Latin to the morning star, like kind of meaning like either sunrise or the North Star, depending, or Venus, probably Venus too. Actually, the planet Venus, because that's brighter than the North Star. Uh, like in oh god, the texts are so weird, right? And they contradict themselves constantly. And the King James Bible, we all know, does contradict itself constantly. Um, but there isn't. I'm trying to remember. Um, Lucifer doesn't play as big of a role in the texts that Jews read, right? Um, it's more of the Shatan or Satan, or some people believe that Satan is based off of one of the Egyptian gods. I can't remember who the name of it. Maybe God damn it,
Sen?
Ra maybe.
Ra?
Um, yeah, and again, it's a concept. It's not a guy with a. It's not a weird. It's not a hooved dude.
It sounds like. Okay, so the Greek gods, they were flawed,
Yeah.
right? Like Zeus was
Mhm.
flawed, and that like was part
Oh
of what
yeah.
made him endearing. The Nordic gods were flawed. Odin
Yeah.
always knew Ragnarok was coming, and like he became the definition of self-fulfilling prophecy. It
Yep.
also sounds like the Hebrew version of biblical events displayed flawed versions of God.
Well, absolutely. So the other thing is they have to like early so Judaism, like the birth of Abrahamic religions, and the birth was really kind of the birth of monotheism. And instead of just like kind of deciding to write out other gods that people worshiped back then, they were turned into angels and demons and other just characters, like just straight up characters. So like Satan was was most likely based on another god that people worshipped. Um, and again, it's a concept that is like I want to say it's and there's a lot of bad shit in the Talmud. There's a lot of bad shit in the Bible. There's a lot of bad shit in Torah, like that we would view bad. But like also the idea, this is a good idea, I think, that God has an adversary, someone to keep him in check. God isn't necessarily all, he is all knowing in the religion, we're supposed to blah blah blah, but having an adversary either for humanity or for God means that there's someone saying like, "Hey, dude, this a good idea? Do you really think you should turn that dude into a pillar of salt?" You know,
Yeah.
like instead of the Christian idea of Satan of like, "Well, I'm gonna trick all these humans into doing weird shit and like fucking rabbits and things. It's more of a kind of like, well, God, do you think it's really a good idea to have Lot like fuck his daughters? Like, you think that's a great idea?
Hey, so for everyone who's wondering why we're going on this interlude, Alex's friend is like in the area and about to leave.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
we're letting
But I
him.
think this is we're letting him do that. But I think this is a discussion we should have if we're doing these things on
Yeah.
demons anyways. Like,
Well,
um, yeah,
uh,
the Lilith stuff. I love Lilith because either she is Satan, I, and let's clarify that either she is the adversary or she's like very tightly bound to the adversary. And the traditional story of Lilith is more like, yeah, she gets out of she leaves Eden and like is kind of like lost a little bit, then meets Lucifer or Satan or whomever, and kind of like hooks up with them, and then it turns into like, he's not Adam, he's more of like a, I don't know, he plays more games with her instead of just raping her.
all right, guys, fucking strap in because we're about to go crazy. Remember that talk
Yes,
we
we are.
had about the simulation? All right.
Yes.
So, just real quick for everybody listening out there, my friend brought up a video of Neil deGrasse Tyson uh, being asked whether we're in a simulation. For all those unaware, Neil deGrasse Tyson is an astrophysicist in the. Why am I saying yes? Who is that?
No,
Anyway,
that's me. I'm sorry. I was
oh.
trying to reply to Lord of all Old Frames. Lord of all Old Frames said more like a reality check, and I'm just going to say yes. That's it. That's exactly what I'm getting at.
I was like, anyway. So,
Sorry.
the this Neil deGrasse Tyson response. He's an astrophysicist here in the U.S. His response to that question was he finds it hard to argue against, and here's what he
Yes.
means by that. He's like, Futurama actually did a fantastic fucking episode on this, where they
Oh
tried
yeah.
to solve an anomaly in their universe. So they created a simulation to observe how that simulation would solve the anomaly. And that simulation created a simulation to observe how they would have solved the anomaly in the universe. And it just went down the line. It was like mirrors
Yeah.
reflecting mirrors.
Yeah. It's an
And
endless loop.
and that's kind of where we are. If we're in a simulation, we're creating simulations, and we're just going down the rabbit hole, you know? And
Yeah.
he said essentially, if you were to throw a dartboard at
Or Dart.
a dart at a list of simulations, are you more likely to hit the original one or the thousands that were created from it?
Yeah.
So,
I yeah.
as far as like folklore goes, with like Lilith ending up with Lucifer or Lilith gangbanging all the demons in the Red Sea, they're both correct because there
Yes.
is universes where each of those have happened.
Yeah. And the discussion that Kirk and I had, I think last night. Yeah, it was last night. Was about this idea, and I think like that description that Neil deGrasse Tyson gives is like a perfect like summation. Like it just encapsulates the multiverse theory that like if we live in a multiverse, is there an original one? Do we create multiverses with every decision we make? We probably do. Do we create multiverses or universes? I'm sorry, universes within the multiverse when we create folklore and stories. When people start believing this stuff, when they start reading this shit, like, is there another simulation, another universe created in the multiverse? And yeah, if you're gonna have a dartboard of like all of the universes that are contained in this multiverse, like no, you're not going to hit the one that created the multiverse. You're going to hit something that is completely like outside of that.
I find it like adorable that essentially so here's a theory I've been kind of playing with, right? I
Yeah.
recently heard about like the fucking the I was listening to the last podcast on the left and they were talking about the fucking what's that? The new alien theory that
Oh yeah.
we are currently The reason alien information has not been disclosed to the public is because we're an experiment of the aliens, and as soon as we figure out that we're an experiment, the experiment's over. Humanity is run its course, and they're gonna
Yeah.
wipe us out.
Oh my God!
Oh shit!
Look who's here. Oh shit! And he's got a mustache.
Simon, what are you doing with the mustache, Holmes? What's up, buddy?
I think he's on mute. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're on mute, dude. Guys, this is our old roommate, Simon. He's a good friend of ours.
No, something's not working. Anyways, he kind of looks like Hitler.
Tests.
Hey, there he is.
Like a
Well,
Polish
kinda
Hitler.
look like
Yeah. Are you
That's
Polish
That's the
Hitler?
biggest oxymoron I've ever heard.
I know, it really is.
Yeah, how's it going?
Simon, are you going to join
Oh.
the podcast for the rest of it?
I don't know.
If you're
I'm
taking
supposed to
Alex's
guest
job,
Alex right now.
if you're taking Alex's job, you got to read the fucking outline.
You got to read the outline.
Demonic attacks on humanity.
Oh, this should be great. You're look, just read the outline from that point on, and then join in with conversations as you will.
Oh my God.
Alright, after the failure of Lilith, God attempted to create another woman from dust. She was known as Nama. However,
good
she
job,
also
Emma.
said "fuck you" and bounced. Then she teamed up with Lilith. She's not as powerful as Lilith, but she's basically her sidekick. Oh, they had offspring? Oh, they had numerous
Yeah.
offspring. The offspring of Lilith and Nama are numerous. Due to their mother's hatred, they are devoted to inflicting pain and suffering on the descendants of Adam and Eve. I actually kind of like this.
Yeah,
No, this is a good one.
we're discussing Lilith, like the Blizzard version. But then they downvoted that, so now we're discussing the real version of Lilith.
What
and-
they downvoted that? No, Kirby, you wanted to discuss Diablo, and we said we should actually discuss folklore,
Yeah,
like we usually do.
we decided to go with stories and legends from religion, as opposed to talking about one of the greatest games of 2023.
Oh my God, really?
So,
That's
So-
a bold fucking statement, my man.
I've never even played it.
Simon,
Yeah,
do you want to be
okay.
part of our Lilith podcast today?
What?
No, I think Alex is talking to him.
No, we're talking about Diablo 4. Wait,
Oh
Kirby, what'd you
man,
ask?
I
You want
miss
to be?
man.
You should totally join the podcast. Come on, it's only like an hour left. Your insight would be perfect.
on Diablo, I never played it.
We're not
No,
we're not
it's
talking about Diablo 4.
he's lying. He's full of shit.
We're
This
talking
is
about
from
Lilith.
this is yeah. This is from like the old either the Kabbalah, the Old Testament, and or books that didn't make it to the Bible.
Let me Google it.
You know, folklore. We don't need to Google it. The fucking outline is right there.
Actually, you know what? I think we should take a break and watch Sabrina on Netflix because there's a pretty good version of Lilith on that.
Oh, I'm sure our audience would love that.
Goddess Lilith embodies the powerful feminine archetype representing rebellion, sexual liberation, independence, mystery, empowerment, resilience.
Well, fucking shit! You just summed up the whole fucking show. God damn it!
Oh, my bad.
It's
Sorry.
all right. It's all right.
Google.
Man,
Thanks for
Oh.
summarizing, the 5 pages we wrote, but we appreciate that.
like a fucking
Oh, they killed infants?
paragraph.
Like, was it abortions?
Yeah, so
well,
go ahead and
could
read the
be.
next part.
Alright,
Yeah.
Lilith isn't exactly enthralled to watch her children die. So in retribution, she and Nama, is that how you pronounce it? Nama? Nama?
Yeah, Nama.
I'd
Yeah.
say Nama. Nama.
Nama attempt to strangle 100 infants each day.
Hell yeah.
Holy fuck. However, one
Metal.
boy reaches 8 days of life, and a girl 20. They can no longer be touched by Lilith. Is that Adam and Eve?
No,
That's just
children.
any baby.
So
Yeah.
to catch you up to speed, Lilith rejected God. God said he was going to kill 100 of her offspring every day. So in attribution, Lilith is going to kill 100 babies each day.
But so she has dominion over all children, um, basically boys before they reach 8 days and girls before they reach 20 days. So she can't kill infants that are. She can't kill boys that are 8 days old, and she can't kill girls that are 20 days old. But after that, that's fair game. She can kill all the infants she wants.
So anyway, now that you got that, continue on with the podcast or keep playing with the voodoo doll.
However, you can protect them in the meantime. They must wear an amulet with a name or picture of an angel who initially talked to Lilith, San Sonoy, or
Some angel.
some angel. Some angel.
That's what we're calling him. Just some angel.
Some
Some
angel.
angel.
True to her word, Lilith will leave these kids alone.
There's one more line.
Yeah, there's one more line.
Oh, sorry. Page break. If Lilith
Sorry.
does not find 100 infants, she is not above slaughtering her own children in fits of rage.
So
Yeah.
basically, she seeks out kids and strangles them. Up to 100
So
each day, just to reject God on a daily basis.
there's another version of this.
Alex just yelled women's healthcare.
There's another version of this where you don't put the Hebrew name of the angels on the kid. You actually put an amulet of Lilith's Hebrew name, and it protects the kid. That's the other version.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they were talking about how like you could put a circle in the room and put like "Stay away, Lilith" in the circle, and that's supposed to like keep her out of the room. But apparently, she can sneak past that. And it was saying that if you see your kid like giggling, it's Lilith trying to strangle her, and you have to put like your finger up to the kid's lips to stop her, and it will make her go away.
God, that's horrible.
So your kid can't giggle?
Your kid can't giggle
Yeah.
for the first 8 days of his life.
Well, or 20 if it's a girl.
This world is pain and suffering.
Oh.
Usually that just means the kid's passing gas. I have 3 of them, and when I actually have this belief that kids don't get souls until they're 3 months old, just because they're kind of empty before that. But
They're kind of empty.
They're just
I mean, they're just
shit and
they're
throw up
yeah, they're just blobs.
and tears.
And I mean, they can't see. When kids are born for the first 3 months, they can't see really past like when they're suckling their mom's tit. They can only see their mom's face. That's how far they can see. So that's my theory. I think it's probably a shitty theory, and we're probably gonna get if actually I should say if people listen to this, we would get emails. But whatever.
Oh, I'm sure we'll get tons of emails. if
I wish.
this ever
Really,
gets
I really. You know what I want? I want to find our inbox just full of hate mail and not Patreon shit.
I'd be so fucking excited for that. I'd be like, yay,
Yeah,
people hate us now.
exactly.
All right, Simon.
I mean, I can instigate some hate mail if you want.
Yes, please.
Do it. Tell.
Just
Hey,
send me your email.
Well, we'll say it at the end. So
just tell
But, hey.
everyone to subscribe to Crook and Murder on their favorite podcast channel.
and then send us hate mail.
Yeah, then send us hate mail.
I was just gonna post
Hey, you're
something on
like-
Reddit, be like, these guys are douches.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
They want hate mail.
Yes. We want to be popular enough to be canceled.
Yeah, we want Reddit to hate us. Look, I've figured out if Reddit doesn't like what I'm doing, that means I'm probably doing it right.
Absolutely. So hey, bring us home, Simon. You got like just like 2 paragraphs left.
Well, ish.
No.
Yeah,
Ish.
But
he's got
alright,
like an entire page left.
alright, seducing
Oh
men.
shit, I missed that.
Yeah, it's all good. Lilith really hated Adam, so she and Nama would target men for seducing during the night. Or seduction during the night. Solo travelers who haven't taken the skin boat. What's the skin boat? To Tuna Town?
This is
All right, solo travelers who haven't taken the skin boat to Tuna Town in a while will be specifically targeted.
Wow. I'm sorry. I see what you're trying to do there, but you're gonna have to explain it.
Okay, the skin boat, guys, is the penis, and the tuna
Oh.
town.
Oh,
I get it now.
okay,
Okay.
I
is
get
the
it now.
vagina. So this
I-
is
That one right over
actually
my
a
head.
euphemism. All right, unsubscribe from Crook and Murder and send you hate mail. Gotcha.
No. Subscribe to us and give us like 1 star.
The most hated podcast on Spotify.
So
Yeah,
it's
we
a
want
euphemism
people to
for
listen.
sex. Honestly,
I thought you were talking about cunnilingus for a second, but I get it now.
no, the skin boat. The tuna
I-
Yeah,
town.
no, I get yes.
If I was
pulling
ever with
into
a
the
woman
show.
and she referred to her vagina as Tuna Town, there would
Yeah.
be some issues.
I don't know. I don't know
Look,
if it would be better if you said Tuna Town or Hatchet Wound. I really don't know.
Simon,
Yeah.
all you have
Or
to do
Yeast Factory.
on your next date, if it's going well at the restaurant, yeast factory, Jesus Christ.
Oh my god, this is a terrible idea.
Oh my God. On your next date,
Wow.
over the candle-lit dinner, after you guys ordered your bottle of wine and you're sitting there and it's like slowing down, eating your chocolate mousse, just look her deep in the eyes and be like, "Baby, I like you. I want to take my skin boat to your tuna town."
Oh my god.
No,
No.
I will never. Those words will never come out of my mouth ever
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, no. Tuna Town. Oh my god. I wish I
Guaranteed to
would have
get
read
you
this
laid.
before we did this. I think we need
All
some
right.
editing.
During the night, Lilith would slowly caress the men until they unloaded their trouser snake in a sinful manner. So she jerked them off.
Yes.
In their sleep.
She jerked him off. This is like the most what's that? Statistical reading of this. And it weirdly works.
I think they're just talking about nocturnal emissions.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is just
Oh, Lilith is behind every wet dream.
Yes, exactly.
Oh man, Lilith touched me last night.
Multiple times. Now there's
I mean,
weird
couple
ghost
times.
residue on my sheets.
It's ectoplasm.
Spooky ghosts. In some legends, Lilith did more than play pocket rockets. She also sucked their blood and gobbled on their flesh. This actually morphed into the LeMay myth, who were known for cannibalism. So she, whoa, actually eating dicks. The LeMay.
I mean, yes. I guess, yes, she would actually eat dicks. Because she would eventually end up just eating the victim. Like, this is part of some of the folklore out there.
Yeah.
But it leads into something incredibly interesting with the LeMay. So, please continue.
The LeMay inspired legends of werewolves and vampires. So indirectly, Lilith is the queen of all night creatures.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Um,
Lilith is behind vampires, werewolves, anything that eats humans or sucks their blood. You can thank the legend of Lilith for it.
Hell yeah.
The
So let's talk about infertility.
making women infertile. The concept evolved over time. Essentially, Lilith wants to cause pain in all aspects of conception. So if a woman was unable to conceive children, it was blamed on Lilith's interference. This also could be a way for Lilith to circumvent her promise. If a child is never born, they can never wear an amulet, allowing Lilith to murder them before they even arrive.
Yeah, this was
Yeah.
her way of sneaking past like the angels. Or what more specifically, this is the church's way of blaming infertility on something they can't control.
There's a little note on this document by Alex Zachary that says, "Go women's healthcare." At this point,
Yeah.
I think this is when he meant to yell.
There is another way to look at this, and that is that Lilith is the ultimate pro-choice and is providing safe abortions when
Do
needed.
you think she was behind birth control?
Yes,
Yeah,
100%.
Plan B
And
pills.
The Catholic Church would probably agree with you.
Oh yeah, the Plan B was the Plan B.
Yeah, Plan Lilith. That's what. Oh man. Oh, I'm gonna release a drug called Plan Lilith. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
but the
great.
the Plan L bill or pills were too on the nose, so she had to call them Plan B.
Gotcha.
I got a bunch of those in my house just in case. Case. That's not true. I don't.
Oh, I was
That
like,
was sorry.
that was oversharing a little bit.
Sometimes,
That's sarcasm.
sometimes I just take them just in case.
You take them. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because then I'm prepared for the day if it happens.
Yeah.
I wonder what happens to you if you keep taking Plan B pills. That can't be good for a dude.
It can't be good for anyone. I think.
I don't want to talk about it.
Kirby pops them
Anyway,
like fucking like daily vitamins.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go into my next uh, support group meeting. Let's call it that, and say that I've been taking Plan B pills and I'm addicted to them, and I need to work on that.
listen, if you have a fucking Plan A and it falls apart, you have the fallback of Plan B. That's why I take them. So that way, if Plan A fails, I'm good to go. I think your flesh banana falls off. That's what Lord of Old Doorframe said. So that might that might be what happens. Is that why
I'm
it's
really
gone?
starting.
Are there some
I'm starting to
euphemisms for
appreciate.
dicks in this podcast?
I'm really starting to appreciate that Lord of all Door Frames is contributing to our euphemisms for cocks.
All right. Shall I continue?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Was Lilith the original girl boss? Early biblical and
Rabbinic.
rabbinic texts make it
Yeah.
clear that at least two women were created. However, scholars struggled to identify the second woman, so eventually they settled on the demoness Lilith as her name. This would mean Lilith was never the first wife of Adam, but just a random demonic name picked from a hat, though all other story beats remain the same.
So basically, they knew there was a second chick, but they couldn't name her. So they were just like, yeah, Lilith is kind of like where that
Yeah.
name came from. But what we're going to get into next makes it even fucking crazier how this came about.
I also just put note. So like early rabbinic texts and biblical texts, there is a lot of them, like hundreds that again contradict themselves all the time. So this is like I don't know, statistically, like probably like a bunch of them say that, but that's not what made it into the text, because we have to remember the Bible uh, was just edited by, I don't know, 12 gay guys that were following another gay guy into the desert.
Yeah, I mean, I don't put a lot of faith in the Bible anymore. I think
Anymore?
and
Anymore, or no? Right?
listen, I I was staying at my cousin's house. Or no, this is like back in high school. I was huge into Christianity, like straight up going on mission trips and all that shit.
Oh my
And
God, really?
he was telling me over like 2 summers ago, like this story. But apparently, me, my cousin, my dad, and my brother were headed towards a ski trip in like Colorado, and I was like vehemently arguing with him, like Bible thumping, like it says this on the Bible, and you gotta be like
Whoa.
this, and you gotta do this. And then he's like, 2 days later, you were fucking coming back, hung over as fuck on rum and cokes, and singing a way different dude. And I think that might have been my turning point, but I can guarantee you, I know my exact point where I started to lose faith in the church.
Are you are you saying that Captain Morgan turned you into a Satanist?
Captain Morgan showed me the way to piracy. Um, when I was in the Navy, I went to this Catholic church thing because I was like, that's cool, you know, it gets me out of work for a bit, and I can like attend the church and be a quote unquote good Christian. And the fucking deacon there, or whatever you call them, was like, "Hey guys, it's great to be here. It's great that we're all here for God. Make sure you praise Jesus." And I'm like, "Yeah, praise Jesus." And he's like, "And make sure you praise God." And I'm like, "Yeah, praise God." And he's like, "And make sure you praise your commander because God put him there." And I'm like, "What is this fucking military propaganda bullshit?" And that's when I started looking into the occult, and that's kind of when I started to go off track. After that, I mostly stayed a Christian to hedge my bets of getting into heaven, and now I've more or less rejected the whole thing.
Interesting. I did look into becoming a military chaplain because there are not enough rabbis in the service.
I feel like
And
I should have just gone to the rabbi, because the fucking chaplain telling me to praise my goddamn commander was like, he put the nail in the Christian coffin. And I don't know if that's probably the best thing that's ever happened to me, to be honest, because
that's the
it broke
dumbest
my
thing you've
spell.
ever heard. So, guys, just so you know, praise God, praise Jesus, and praise your CEO because God put him there.
He's your chain of command. Make sure you look up to him and give him a thanks every day. And it's like, go fuck yourself.
I'm
Interesting.
starting to get the idea that Kirby in the Navy, your CO, your commander, was kind of an asshole.
I hated everyone. I they hated me because I would ask questions. I'd be like,
Of
"Why are
course.
we doing it this way when there's a far easier way to do it?" And then I'd outline it for them, and they'd be like, "No, you're just a fucking seaman. Go back to being a seaman. Fuck off."
Yeah, you
You'd
can't. You
still be a
can't.
seaman if you're on Plan B.
I know. That's why I started taking Plan B pills, so I couldn't be a seaman anymore.
Um. Uh. Oh my God. I'm just gonna
Moving
say
on.
this that
Uh,
every officer that I've ever worked with, I was military for 6 weeks, um, was an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, all the officers were dickheads except for the pilots. The pilots are cool as shit. I would serve
Oh
them
yeah.
up in the wardroom, which was like the pilot mess or whatever. It was like a
Yeah.
quick lunch that they can come and get, and they
Yeah.
would sit there and chat with the crew.
Of
The
course.
rest of the officers would be like, "You're not even anywhere near my pay grade. Get away from me."
Yeah.
You know?
Fuck that. No. I mean, pilots are just stoked to be out on the sea, fucking getting in planes. They love flying, so of course they're gonna be happy.
Yeah, they're all like Maverick. Like
Yeah.
I was asking one of them how officers get their call sign when they're up in the air, with like fucking
Yeah.
Iceman, Maverick, whatever. He's like, "We give it to people when they do something dumb." He's like that guy over there, he's about to be called Toaster because he's been fiddling with that fucking toaster for the past like 10 minutes. And I'm like, I like this guy. I like pilots. But
I,
go on.
yeah. I like that. Yeah. Hey, let's get back into it.
all right, all right. Even crazier. Lilith, Adam, and Eve were most likely inspired by real events. Buckle in because this is about to get insane. During the time of the Tanit, it was recorded that a queen named Lilith allowed a group of nomad herdsmen into her port for shelter. All was hunky dory until the herdsmen usurped the queen and seized power. This caused Queen Lilith to flee her own realm. The lost queen was replaced by a new queen who pledged allegiance to the Hittite
Hit tight.
goddess Heba.
Hit tight. Hit tight.
Hittite. Hittite goddess Heba.
Yeah. No, keep it going, man.
I
Just like
love
bring it home.
no. We gotta
No?
we gotta
Okay.
recap that. I
Okay.
love Simon's just absolute dry delivery. Buckle in,
Oh,
Yeah.
it's very
guys.
deadpan.
This is
Yeah.
gonna
Buckle
get
in.
insane.
Buckle in, guys.
Yeah, I only have one tone. I'm sorry. I can't help it.
No, it's yeah.
No,
No,
it makes
I
you funny as shit.
I I thoroughly miss playing Magic with Simon.
I started
I
getting back into it recently, actually.
I remember when I
Oh,
tried to
nice.
give Simon like the box of fucking 70s porn, and he
Oh
just
my
looked
god.
at me and he was like, No.
No.
And then like shut the door.
Yeah, I remember that too. And then there was a box of
Yes.
Chinese porn in the hallway
Yes,
for like a week.
we all remember the three massive boxes of trucker porn that Crook brought home with him. I mean, thankfully he deloused it or whatever. But
Oh yeah,
oh,
we did kill the silverfish eventually. So
Eventually,
essentially,
eventually,
I
what
did
this
find silverfish.
yeah,
what this was saying is that there is a historical reference to a queen named Lilith who like reigned over a kingdom.
yeah,
And this is like history. This is legit happened. She
yeah,
brought in a group of nomad herdsmen into her court. The herdsmen essentially usurped the king and seized power of her court, driving Queen Lilith out of her own
yeah,
country, and putting their own queen in, who worshipped the Hittite goddess Heba. Now, this is
yeah.
important for what happens next.
Yes.
Here's where it gets balls to the walls. Oh God, what I do?
No, you
It is
got it. You got
believed
it. There
that
you go.
the I don't know that word. Hebracized
Hebrew signs. Yeah,
divine name of Heba, mother of all living, is the name Eve. Heba was known to be the wife of Hatiti, storm god Taru. Taru was known to be equated with Anath. More importantly, Taru is the divine being most often associated with the portrayal of our biblical God, Jehovah, Yahweh, etc.
So,
yeah,
essentially, Eve came from Heba, which was an earlier version of the quote unquote Eve. Uh, because she was the mother of all living in the Hittite religion. And the Hebrews kind of took that and made Eve from it.
yeah.
Uh,
So
Taru,
the Hittites come into play in like the Bible and the Torah and like the Old Testament like a lot, especially historically. So the Hittites were a Semitic group, a Semitic sort of what's the word uh, ethnic group, and they sort of they had their own sort of pantheon of gods and religion, and they were often like in history they invaded Egypt, they invaded the land of Sheba, they invaded like at some point they ruled like all of North Africa, and then kind of died off, and a lot of stories that relate to the Israelites may have been more related to the Hittites.
we're actually talking about like one of the world's oldest religions right here. If you notice, like the storm god Taru,
Yeah,
Zeus could easily have been made from that. Like,
yeah,
these are the basics of what we know as the gods and deities today.
yeah.
So
Whether it's monotheism or polytheism, like there is a lot of like overlap here.
yeah,
And
and
even the Greek, I'm looking at this, even the Greek god or the Greek word Taurus was probably came from Taru.
Taru, to make that as simplified as possible, think of it like male and female, Taru Anath. You know, both
Yeah,
of them were equal in measure in the Hittite religion, and Taru was the inspiration for what would later become Jehovah, Yahweh,
yeah,
Allah, etc. He
yeah,
was the portrayal of that God within that religion. So Taru is the earliest God, essentially.
yeah. Well, the earliest sort of Abrahamic god, probably.
Yeah.
There were probably other gods like Babylonian gods and Sumerian gods that were maybe older, but like Taru is probably taken from those. And I've always I always say this, so like the idea of like a single god like Yahweh or Jehovah um, in the story of Moses is almost like he comes down with the Ten Commandments and he's saying like you'll worship one God and blah blah blah. But the Israelites at that point worshipped tons of gods. Like, and so it makes total sense to take that they took the sort of being or folklore of another god and made it Yahweh.
Yeah. I mean, it's what Christianity's been doing for centuries, where they evolve certain sections of different religions and warp it into their own. You know.
Oh yeah, and I mean now you've got all these mega churches, preaching the fucking what's it called, the prosperity gospel, and like all those guys are like their own little gods.
So the biggest thing you can take away from here in this section, because it's about to get a little confusing, Shiva was essentially the earliest form of Eve. Taru was the earliest form of God, or as far as Abrahamic goes.
Yeah,
And Anath was considered equal to Taru.
yeah.
Now
So
going in,
let's get it going.
Yeah. All right. Now that we understand who Taru, Anath, and Heba are, let's discuss where the origins of Adam and Eve started. Though many traditions of our Judeo-Christian religion stem from Middle Eastern philosophy, there is no parallel story anywhere to the creation of man, except one. I can't pronounce this word.
Tangentially.
thanks
There is
Google.
a painting from earlier cultures depicting the goddess Anath naked in the air watching her lover Mot murder his twin brother. And that bitch was into some crazy shit.
That's like hot, man.
Yeah, while the picture depicted Mott stabbing his brother, Alien. Is it really? Alien?
Let's go with Alien.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Alien
that's
sounds
pretty
good.
cool. Early scholars may have misinterpreted the painting, believing it showed Jehovah, Mott, removing the rib from Adam, Alien, to create Eve, Anath, depicting floating above. Depicted
Yeah.
floating above. Therefore, it's probably safe to assume that Lilith was just a poor queen driven out of her own country.
Aww.
Basically, they
With
ripped
a bunch of Plan B.
the story of
Yes.
Adam and Eve from this painting, thinking it collaborated with their religion, even though the fucking painting was made before their religion. So they transcribed their own characters from their own religion onto that painting and went, "This is the creation of man."
Yeah.
Which means
I,
we can assume Adam and Eve is almost a bullshit story, or is a bullshit story, and Queen Lilith was most likely just the queen that was usurped by the herdsmen for being nice.
so I got a funny story. Long time ago, I dated this woman. God, it was a long. This was, and I'll say that this was before I stopped doing drugs.
All right, this is
So
getting interesting.
yeah, she was very, very, very Christian, and somehow she had a liking for me, like weird Jewish drug addict me. And she was a virgin, 26.
She was like, I could save him.
I don't think that was it, honestly. I could tell you what I think it was, but I don't want it on the air. Um, but basically, we got into a huge argument because, like, I had said to her, like, well, I'm kind of Jewish, and after I stopped doing drugs, I got a little bit more like traditional or faith based. I don't want to say faith based, but I started like celebrating the holidays more. But back then, she said something. We had basically agreed early on that, like, yeah, okay, the Bible, the Old Testament, the Torah, it's not fact, right? It's not not how like Christians in America take the Bible very literally as it is fact. And me and her kind of agreed on that, and that's why I kind of was like, okay, I'll date you. Um, but then something came up in a group of people that some of them were, I'd say the majority of them were Christian like her. I don't know how I started hanging out with these people, but she said something along the lines. I said something about evolution. She was like, "You believe in evolution?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, of course I do." And the laugh that came out of her mouth and the fucking derision and the disdain she had for me just became evident in that moment. because she was like, "What, you think we're like we evolved from monkeys?" And I was like, "Look,
Yeah.
yeah, kind of like not monkeys, but primates, yeah, pretty much." And she was like, "I thought you like, were Jewish. Why would you believe that?" I'm like, "Well, I don't know. God didn't create fucking people out of mud. Come on." And that actually wasn't the end of our relationship. The end of our relationship was when I helped her move, and then she broke up with me the day after.
See, I think personally, religion should not be taken as fact. I think religion is
No,
conceptual. You know, like
absolutely. The Bible's a bunch of fucking allegories.
think about it like this. No, the Adam and Eve story is complete fucking bullshit because
Yeah,
evolution is a goddamn thing that has been
yeah,
like proven. Um, but religion in its spiritual form, which can be literally anything,
yeah.
uh, helps a person because it gives them something to believe in, a hope, a
It
dream.
all, it also, if we're gonna get psychological a little bit, it also kind of brings in this idea of like, I'm not in control of the universe. There's something
Yeah.
else in control of the universe. Um, I mean, I know a guy who considers his god slash higher power to be the coffee machine, because who's to say that that coffee machine doesn't control the universe?
What's your take on this,
Right.
Simon?
I'm not faithful at all. You guys have known me for a long time. Absolutely.
We can explain Simon's lack of faith just by the words Polish Catholic.
Or Polish Hitler, as you guys put me earlier.
No, I'm liking the mustache a lot more. You don't look like Hitler.
Yes, it
All right,
looks
thank
really
you.
cool. You're
Thank-
very
thank-
not. You're not. I. Nobody's going to mistake you for Hitler,
Besides you, Kirby.
except for me.
Well, I mean, if I were in a dive bar in Argentina and I saw you, I might think you're Hitler's clone. But we're not there, so it's okay.
Honestly, if I was in a dive bar in Poland, I'd be like, "Oh fuck, Poland's getting invaded again." But then, like a minute or two later, I'd realize it's you.
Oh my
Where
god.
did Alex go? Is Alex just like,
I mean, he was sitting next to me for like a minute, and he was like, "Are you just gonna do the rest of the podcast?" And I was like, "Sure." And then he wandered off. I have no idea.
oh, so, I mean, Oniram said, holy fuck. But we also missed something from Lord of all Door frames. Give him a blowy kiss on the lips, in opposite order, of course.
Yeah, to my commanding officer, which I completely am against. Unless it gives me a promotion.
Uh,
So who's gonna do the closing statement? Max,
You're
you're
like,
I
much
can do
nicer.
it.
Yeah.
I've never done it before, but I want to go for it. Okay. You can find an uncut version of the show on Twitch and YouTube. Complete audio and edited versions of the show can be found wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And if you'd like to support the podcast, you can join our Patreon at www.patreon.com/CookIrishStudios. If you're interested in learning more about any topics discussed here, you can start by finding a list of our sources under the description of each episode on your preferred platform. And as always, you can always email us at crookirish.studios@gmail.com. And it says to be nice here,
Yeah, I was
but
just about to say, like, we just asked everybody to give us 1-star
yeah,
reviews and
yeah.
for hate
And
mail.
I've been saying since we started saying this that no one needs to be nice. I want to get some real fucking. I want you to like unload on us and everything we've done wrong, and I want to know. What was it? What did you say? You said what was the tuna thing? What was the tuna town thing that you said?
Taking the skin boat to
Uh,
Tuna Town.
oh
It's a
my
common
God.
euphemism.
It's a common.
It's common. Fuck.
Wow. I want an email. Maybe a poll. Maybe I'll put a poll up on Patreon. What's a better euphemism? I still can't remember. Say it again.
I kind of want to make an email like that now.
Taking the skin
Take
boat to Tuna Town.
Taking the skin boat to Tuna Town. I want to know if that's a better euphemism
Tunatown.com.
than than taking uh, taking the log to a hatchet wound.
See, this is important, guys. We need to know this. I mean, one of them makes you sound like a serial killer, and the other one makes you sound like it'd be fun.
One of them makes you sound like a sailor, and one of them makes you sound like a lumberjack.
All right. Special shout out to Simon for switching narrators. I feel like we reached season 2 of our show and dropped an A-lister, but got another A-lister.
So I don't know if you know this, Simon, but Alex has been locked in that room. We locked him in that room for months, and it sounds like I think you're going to be locked in that room for indefinitely.
Yep,
Oh, God.
You're up now.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's just the way it
moved
works.
to Richmond too. This
I
sucks.
know. Wait, you just moved to Richmond?
Yeah, I live in Richmond.
No shit. Okay, well, you're close to
Yeah,
it.
that's why I was hitting you up about that.
Oh, okay. Well, I want to do it. I think
Comic-Con.
Josh and I are going to do that. We'll take that offline, though.
You got to go
Yeah.
down and see him.
No, I will.
Shout out to John Zara for allowing us to finish with Old Lang Syne. Shout out to all my Twitch mods. That is Oniram, ONIRAM_93. Let me go ahead and put the shout out up here. And also Coreycraft. That is KORICRAFT. They make sure that our channel doesn't get overrun by idiots. So please go to them, follow them. They are great streamers and great people. Let me put their links up.
We're
And
forgetting
then-
one person.
Well, I'm getting to it.
Oh, okay.
Although, actually, I might upgrade Lord of Old Doorframes to a moderator as well.
I think that's a good idea.
Shout out to Lord of Old Doorframes as well for participating today. That is LORDOFALLDOORFRAMES. Go follow him. He just started streaming. He needs all the support he can get.
Yes. And I appreciate that Lord of all Door Frames is our single fan. So thank you.
Well, we got a couple fans with like
Yeah,
Simon.
like my mom, our only Patreon member.
So sad.
I know it's
Sorry.
no, I mean I set it up and I put it online, and she's my mom.
She doesn't even listen to the podcast. Thank God.
Thank God.
Oh my God. Hold on. I'm getting these up. Keep them busy for a second.
There you go. Yes. So I'll just say that my mom has never listened to the podcast. I've forbidden her from listening to the podcast because it will depict a version of her son that I don't think she's gonna like.
Yeah, because then she's gonna get the wrong impression of you that you come on here and talk about weird stuff.
Like
I think
hatchet
that's it.
wounds. I'm never gonna say that term again ever
I'm
on the
telling you.
podcast. By the way,
If you're at a rave and everyone's fucking coked
oh
up
my God.
on LSD, and you go, hey,
Or
let's fucking
MDM.
take the skin boat to fucking Tuna Town in the bathroom, she'd probably be like, yeah, let's do that shit.
I think that's the name of a rave I went to once.
Skin boat, Tuna Town.
Yeah. No, that's
Yeah.
not. I've never been to a rave. I like to do drugs by myself because other people like want to share and stuff, and I don't want to give them drugs.
I lost my wallet at a rave because I gave $20 to a girl to get me E, and she took the $20 and then my wallet, and then I never got either the E or my wallet back. I am
Wow.
Kenny Crook, Irish Kirby. You guys keep it weird.
I'm Maxwell Murder. Dial M for my mom, and she might answer.
And I'm Simon, the monotone one.
That's Simon.
Simon, we
That's-
need to get you onto the podcast more.
Actually,
I wouldn't mind popping in every once in a while.
well, Alex and I have been talking about doing a Star Trek one, and I think you'd be pretty good.
I would enjoy that actually.
Absolutely.
Oh, the three
All
of
right.
you would fucking kill it in a Star Trek one.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We're gonna work on that. All right. Are we signing off? We're done.
That's it. The
Yeah.
music's playing, Holmes.
All right.
I'm just waiting for it to finish.
Okay.
So we're like awkwardly sitting
I'm
Oh, wait.
filling up my
So
vape.
they,
So
they can't hear us.
here. No, they can hear us. Are you
just
flying home tonight? Is that what's going on?